Hey, Quabblers, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you guys here, and I hope you guys are doing well. I want to talk today about one of the biggest, if not the biggest, really the biggest, actually, issue with Enlisted as of right now. And it's really been the biggest issue for a long time. It's just kind of been something that we haven't focused on, or I haven't focused on, because there have been other issues that are more pressing, being like gameplay issues. But this has always been an issue since the release of Enlisted, even back into the closed beta days. And that is the grind of the game and how the systems of the game, the other parts of the game, specifically the campaigns, work with that grind, or really work against that grind, or how the grind works against it. And I think there's a lot to kind of go through here, guys, so I hope you guys stick around for the whole video. There's kind of a lot of moving parts here that I want to try to touch on and talk about all of the different important facets of this and how they affect one another. So let's try to jump into it. And first off, I just want to say, I think that Darkflow has done a fantastic job developing this game. They've been very responsive, to feedback from players. They fixed a lot of issues with the game. I think they've even implemented things that they didn't expect to, like the XP for silver orders and things like that, custom games, so on and so forth. And while I don't think that they've handled everything perfectly or handled everything in a necessarily timely manner, they have fixed all of the issues that I have specifically come across in this game. And I know that they watch my videos at least somewhat, because some things that I've pointed out in videos have been fixed over time. So I hope that whoever ends up watching this video from Darkflow, I want you to know that my complaints for this game very much so come from a place of love and respect for you guys, and just I'm trying to give my feedback as best I can and point out the issues that I see in this game. And I hope that they don't come off too much as just complaining for the sake of complaining, because that is not really the case. I just want the game to be as good as possible for as many people as possible, and I hope that that is communicated in these videos. So with that out of the way, guys, let's jump into that. So like I said, the grind is just too high for this game, and that is going to cause a lot of issues down the road, in my opinion. As it stands right now, doing the math, it will take ballpark 2,000 hours for the average free-to-play player, actually more like the above average free-to-play player, to finish all 8 campaigns, all 8 factions of the base 4 campaigns for Enlisted, assuming that the XP stays at about 180,000 per level and goes to level 40. They said level 40 plus in previous dev blogs, but I don't really see how you could ever go past level 40. I don't even think they should be going to level 40, but again, separate issue. So again, 2,000 hours, guys. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is a crazy amount of time to put into a single game for only the base 4 campaigns. And that's not even including the campaigns that we know are going to be coming soon. It's been hinted that new campaigns are going to be coming sooner than we think. I expect we're going to be getting a French campaign, a 1940s France campaign. We have a lot of French guns in the game right now, so I very much so expect to see a French campaign as our next campaign. And we know, of course, the Pacific will be coming at some point in the future. I expect sometime in 2022. So all that being said, I mean, 2,000 hours for a single for the base 4 campaigns is absolutely ridiculous. 500 hours for one campaign to finish is just it's too much, in my opinion. I don't think the average player is ever going to be finishing that, and I don't see the reason why you would bother creating all of these different campaigns if the vast majority of players aren't going to see it, right? That just doesn't make any sense to me, right? I feel like the game is being designed for the average premium player and is being balanced around the average premium player and not around the average free-to-play player, who makes up the majority of the audience. And I know I've mentioned this before, but I've never talked about it as the central focus of a video, and I need to talk about that now, because it is such an issue that is plaguing this game. Because if it is not changed, if the average free-to-play player is not the main focus of this game, and guys, this is coming from someone who has spent hundreds of dollars on this game and is the exact person who is being targeted by Darkflow and the game is being designed around, right? There has to be a shift here, because if there is not a shift, if this shift doesn't happen to cater towards the average free-to-play player, this game, I really don't think is going to survive. And I don't mean to be doom and gloom about that. I think this game has everything that it needs to survive. I just don't think it can if that shift doesn't happen, because as more campaigns are added to the game, more and more players are going to just be spread thin across the different campaigns. If a French campaign is added, we have 5 campaigns, we have 10 different queues that are happening, 5 different queues, I guess, that are happening. within Enlisted, and that is just going to split the player base too much. We're already seeing this happen, right? We can see this happen in Tunisia. You can see this happening in Berlin Axis to a lesser extent, where teams are just filled with like 50% AI because there aren't enough players to fill these lobbies. Because frankly, guys, people don't want to play these campaigns where you're unlocking the same crap over and over again, right? You're unlocking the same things that you've already unlocked several times before. And then on top of that, you don't want to switch campaigns whenever you have to grind a whole campaign out again, right? People don't want to do that. People are not willing to do that. But if the grind was lessened, people would be much more willing to grind through these campaigns and stick around. And while I do think there are players who will always play this game and welcome the grind and think the grind is fine, I think the vast majority of players do not think that. And the vast majority of players who are leaving the game are leaving it because of the grind, right? And that is a massive issue. I think that the game could do so much better if they capitalized more on the free-to-play audience and catered more to that. And this is really kind of a... It's an older way of thinking, I guess. The way that Darkflow is doing things right now, it is an older kind of design philosophy. It's a philosophy that comes from back 2012 with the early days of War Thunder and World of Tanks and the early free-to-play genre. Whenever free-to-play was still something that was very, very new in game development and game design, really it was just mobile games that kind of took off with that. And the line of thinking, the way that we think about these modern free-to-play games is very different than how Enlisted is being designed today. There's two kind of philosophies. There's this philosophy of the old kind of, pay us to entertain you, right? Pay for convenience, pay for premium time, pay for your time, things like that, right? Pay to lessen the grind of the game. This is, things like Clash of Clans, World of Tanks, War Thunder, games like that, Enlisted, of course. They follow this older kind of philosophy, and this is not what is kind of proven to work nowadays. If you look at other free-to-play titles that are being designed today, right? Halo Infinite, Warzone, Fortnite is really what popularized this line of thinking, Apex Legends, all of these games that I'm sure you guys have heard of, these games don't make you pay to get the full experience of the game. They follow this theory of instead of pay us to entertain you, they follow an idea of we will entertain you and then you will pay us, right? It's this idea of the more people who are playing your game, the more likely it is that you'll catch people who will, be invested in the game, right? If you've put thousands of hours in the game, you're more likely to just pay for things. And so instead of going for selling, guns or selling premium time to unlock things faster and unlock gameplay elements faster, instead they sell cosmetics, right? And Enlisted has a great potential of selling cosmetics. I'm not talking, fucking green and pink soldiers running around and bright Hello Kitty tank skins or anything like that. Like, that is not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about historically accurate decals, historically accurate uniforms. I mean, people would pay a lot of money to be able to dress up their soldier in some sort of crazy uniform. I already know that because a lot of players are already doing that, selling name tags for your soldiers that other players can see, selling badges, selling, little patches you can put on your soldiers and things like that. I think they could even remove the way that the soldiers are like, you have like the 101st Airborne Division. I think they could remove that and just make them like a basic assaulter 2, and then let people purchase, cosmetics for their soldiers where you can put a patch on your soldier that's just like, 101st Airborne insignia, right? You can put that on your shoulder, so then it's like, oh, this guy's part of the 101st, right? He's part of Easy Company or whatever. Like, you get to like role plays, whatever you want to role play as. Right? Get different skins for your soldiers. Have your Russian soldiers be guards, infantry versus like conscripts, right? There's a lot of options for customization and cosmetics that can be done in Enlisted to supplement kind of decreasing the grind and that the monetization that you would lose, the income that you would lose theoretically, although I don't think you would even lose that much. I don't think that premium would really take that much of a hit. I know that I would still purchase premium and recommend premium if XP was increased. But whatever, you'd still, make a lot of money from the customization, and you'd be able to capitalize on that significantly, and that would make up any revenue that you would lose from decreasing the grind and things like that. So when you look at these other free-to-play games that have found so much success, Their success comes from the fact that they are basically allowing the full game to be experienced without requiring players to pay any amount of money. And that is such an important distinction from Enlisted, where you don't really get to experience the full game without paying money, right? You have to really pay money to be able to fully experience Enlisted. You have to get premium unless you're going to be grinding 2,000 hours, which by that point, you know, there's going to be more campaigns out, and you're not really going to be able to, you're just going to have to regrind the new campaigns, right? So I think there needs to be a shift in focus here, because if there isn't, we're not going to be able to sustain the player bases. We're not going to be able to sustain these campaigns. We're not going to be able to sustain just a general healthy player base, and we're gonna just end up having these games that are filled with bots, filled with AI, and really, guys, that's just not fun for anybody. And I think that there's more money to be made selling cosmetics. I think that has been proven time and again by many different developers throughout the free-to-play games industry. And honestly, guys, another thing that I haven't even mentioned, again, there's so many things about this that really just point towards needing to go a different route with the with this free-to-play game design is, you know, War Thunder doesn't have competition, right? War Thunder's only competition is World of Tanks, which has the exact same monetization strategy as they do. So it's not really competition, at least not really. But when you take a look at Enlisted, I mean, think about all the competition that Enlisted has. I mean, Call of Duty Vanguard, Battlefield 2042, which does have its issues, but still has Battlefield Portal. You know, all these free-to-play games like Halo, Apex, excuse me, off the top of my head, Fortnite, although I think that the Fortnite audience and the Enlisted audience is very different, so not very much competition there, but point still stands here that there is a significant, you know, competition here, hell let loose, that, I mean, if Enlisted doesn't get it together here, doesn't, you know, try to capture and be more generous with the way that it sells its game and the way that it caters towards its players, I really just don't think that players are going to stick around. It's going to be hard to monetize the game. And I got to say, guys, if I didn't play this game as much for YouTube, right? If I wasn't a big YouTuber for this game, if I didn't make money making these YouTube videos for you guys, I really don't think that I would be playing Enlisted, at least nearly not as much as I do. I got to say that in complete honesty with you guys, just because it's, frankly, it's true, right? I mean, this grind is frankly ridiculous, even for premium players. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's just, I really think that this game needs, I think the developers, Gaijin, Darkflow, whoever it is, I don't know your guys' relationship. I don't really think anyone does. In my book, you guys are one and the same. It really seems that way to me based on, you know, the page for Darkflow, the website for Darkflow being just like one page, and like many developers that worked at Darkflow, many Darkflow employees are just Gaijin employees for like 10 years or something like that. So in my book, you're one and the same. I don't know if Darkflow doesn't have any say and it's all Gaijin running the monetization, whatever it is, whoever needs to hear this. I am personally telling you guys that I truly, you know, some random guy on the internet, but someone that plays this game a lot and very much so has his ear to the ground, both in game development and for Enlisted in the community and things that I hear from the community, you know, I'm very much saying that this game needs to change. It needs to adapt. It needs to be different, because right now, the way that it is going, I don't think that it is going to have nearly as much success as it potentially could. But that's it, guys. I don't know who needs to hear that. Hopefully it gets to where it needs to go, and let me know your guys' thoughts down below. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. I really think that I am pretty on point here. I don't think that anyone is going to really disagree with me that the grind for the game is really too high to really experience the game fully, and it is detrimental to the game overall. So, but again, maybe I'm off base, and I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Whether you guys agree or disagree. Remember, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And guys, you can also come chat with me, twitch.tv/HeyQuadro. You can join our community Discord, talk with me more about this. We talk about this all the time. And finally, guys, I don't have anything else. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.